So, today's episode of Rabbit Rants is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to because I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration. So, as you know, the other day I was attempting to do Mega Man X games, but I ran into a teensy tiny problem. So, this is the Steam version of the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and as you can see, just for clarity, I also have the sequel as well. Let's see if I can do this without showing off my wallpapers. So here is the infamous black screen glitch. There it is. And it refuses to play. And you know what we have to do to get it to stop? That's a fucking riot, ain't it? Now, there is a fix for this. In order to fix this, you can unplug your monitor, unplug your monitor, then launch the game. Wait until you hear the music playing, and then plug your monitor back in. But there is one small problem with this. If you have multiple monitors, like either myself, or I'm assuming that most people nowadays do just have 2 or 3 monitors with their computer, you have to unplug every single monitor. May I propose another fix? I absolutely guarantee you somebody is screaming because of this. Okay, now let me start by making my case here. I believe in emulation. I fully, totally, completely believe in emulation. I think it should always be around. But before somebody screams and reports me to the emulation police, let me start by, and let's go further back than that. Let's go back to, oh yeah. You know what? Let's go even further back, okay? Well, here's the thing. I'm not even going to get into all of the NES, Super NES, Genesis. Fuck, I think there's like TurboGrafx and shit in there. I have like 2 or 3 boxes just absolutely loaded with all my retro shit. But here's the thing. That shit will not always be around forever. And I'm also not going to constantly have everything plugged in forever. Because as older consoles come and, or as newer consoles come and go, the older consoles just get moved away. Like for example, here in my man cave, I have my my Dreamcast, my PS2, but none of them are plugged in right now because of somebody, Mordecai, not naming any names. But let me just... This is my actual legitimate copy of X4. See? Brand new. Still has the disc. So back in the 90s, Sony coated the back of the PlayStation games in this black paint. And that was sort of their copy protection. But the problem with that is disc rot is very much a thing. And most PlayStation games, if they're not being kept in proper conditions, are melting. And you can have actual legitimate copies of a game that don't work. And that's why it's important for these companies to stay on top of shit. Like, it was good that Capcom made... it's good that Capcom does this and continues to do this. But the problem is... the PC version doesn't work. So what happens if you're not somebody who plays every single console like I do? What if you're only a PC guy? What if what if I wanted to travel halfway across the country and let's be real, I would probably bring my Switch. But let's say I wanted to travel halfway across the country and it's like, oh shit, my laptop can't play this. What? So, this video is like 50% Capcom fix your fucking shit. And the other 50% is basically like... So a couple months ago I played Bucky O'Hare. Let me take a look on how many things you can buy Bucky O'Hare on. Let's do this in real time. Okay, so Bucky O'Hare is not available on any single downloadable service, which means that if I wanted to play Bucky O'Hare, I either go up into my attic and dig out my copy, which I am not in any fucking mood to do, or I just boot up an emulator. It was never put on Wii, it was never put on Wii U, never put on 3DS, and why would it be? It's a fucking cartoon show from the 80s that got a licensed video game. Where the fuck, like, do you have any reasonable idea the hoops that they would need to jump through in order to make that work? So, people who decry emulation and people who just swear off it, because I know a few people who... Like, they refuse to have anything to do with emulators. I was even like that when I was a teenager. I remember I would download and, like, rent Game Boy... Because where else could you fucking do it? My dad didn't go to Blockbuster for whatever reason. I don't know. My dad had a lot of weird fucking things about a lot of things. But, like, you couldn't get Game Boy games at Family Video. You couldn't get Game Boy games at, like, Dave's Video. Or I think Dave's Video was just local to me, but shh. You couldn't get Game Boy games at Hollywood Video, so where the fuck... I'm not going to pay $40, $50 out of my allowance for fucking something that's probably shit. So I would test them. And that's how I mean, before, I've said in Summon Night, that's how I tested Summon Night before I went and bought it. But if we didn't have these collections... Now, Mega Man isn't something fair, because every Mega Man has been released on everything fucking ever. But... Again, the point I just made with Bucky O'Hare, if I wasn't keeping it alive with emulation, if other people who enjoyed this game, ironically, Mike Matei played it like a week after I did. I think he stole it from me. But that's... I mean, it's just... Capcom, please, fix your fucking shit. I'm begging you. I want to be able to sit here and play this on my PC.